Did you like Wandavision? Then you gotta watch how I painted Vision today.
Then the entirety of the cosmos is accessible through each and every individual's mind, connecting to the great mind, the great spirit.
Welcome back to the channel, collectors. I hope you guys have been enjoying the current format of our new painting tutorials. It is definitely refreshing for me because it challenges me to talk about topics other than what paints I use. If you ask me honestly, I think it's really silly to just recite recipes because there's always more than one way to recreate a certain effect on the miniature. Boy, have I got a treat for you guys today. Today I'll be painting Vision in the Wandavision poster style seen right here. Personally, I'm very inspired by this Wandavision poster. I'm trying to see how I can replicate this red line that's along the transition area onto the miniature itself to provide a similar effect. However, I'm not sure whether I can pull this off, but hell yeah, I'm definitely gonna give this a try. I hope you guys are just as adventurous as I am today. Some concepts that we have to talk about before we begin because we're gonna be painting in monochrome, and this concept is called value. Value is the absolute brightness and darkness of a certain color and is not to be mixed up with the intensity of the color, which is saturation. The challenge for this black and white area in the miniature is to match the value to its colored counterparts so that this entire miniature looks as cohesive as possible. So now let's have a look at the image in black and white right here. Oh boy, this is really gonna take some brain power to solve this black and white area, but I'm definitely up for a challenge. So without further ado, let's get these colors ready. You're gonna need these colors to paint Vision in this Wandavision style. Okay, get these colors ready and we can prepare to begin painting Vision in the Wandavision poster style. So first and foremost, I'm gonna start off with a grey to demarcate where the black and white area starts and where the color area ends, and I'm going to be doing the base coat in the normal style. So if you've seen how I've done Wanda, this is going to be very familiar to you. We're going to start off with slightly darker base coats and moving on to later stages where we had light areas. So let's get started painting Vision right now. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm going to use Vallejo model color dark grey to demarcate where the grey area begins and ends. This is not so much of a base coat but more of like a sketch so that you know where you need to color and where you don't need to color. I find that this saves a lot of time, and because dark grey is a pretty low value, I find that this would be very useful because in the future when I wanted to darken down the black and white areas, I still have the opportunity to go down to a black or slightly darker grey. Alright, so now that this step is done, I'm going to start base coating the magenta areas of Vision's face using Games Workshop Screamer Pink. At this point of time, you just want to do this quickly, and if you go into areas that you are not supposed to go into, don't worry because later we can clear it up. Next on, we are going to base coat the green areas using Vallejo model color Forest Flesh. This is from the Nocturna range, so this color might not be so readily available, but any desaturated green color would be good because subsequently we'll be moving up to a lighter green. This is just the base coat, so this color is not really important. And for the cloak, the yellows, what I'm currently using is a thinned down version of AVERLAND Sunset from Games Workshop. I find that this is the best yellow base coat because this mustard color helps the future yellow tones to really shine and maintain that saturation. So remember guys, don't mix up saturation and value. Alright, so what we have done right now is we've placed in the grey area and we've done some of the base coats. It's important for Vision to have very neat base coats because his body tends to be magenta and green at the same time. So you just want to have the lines really sharp. Up next, what we're going to do, we are going to place in some lights. This will inform the viewer of the volumes on the miniature and where the light source is coming from. Okay, so to mind me, I'm going to start placing in the lights right now. Okay, so now that the base coat is done, I'm going to be using a bit of pink coral mixed in with a bit of KIMERA magenta to build on the next layers. So this is where I start placing the light source, and yeah, if you need a reference image, you can go check on the reference image by Big Child Creatives on where to place the light sources. Okay, just be as accurate as possible. Okay, so I mixed in a little bit of Vallejo Model Color Intermediate Green, and I'm starting to place in the light areas for the green areas on his armor. Just being very careful and being very sure of where you place the colors. Always refer to the reference image. So the reference image, it shows a bit of his abs here, and we gotta illustrate this onto the miniature. Adding a little bit of pastel green and a little bit of sky blue in, I've created a very high value of this very desaturated green, and I'm placing it in as the highest highlight for the green. Okay, so I'm doing this for the top of the head, chest, the abs, and these are the areas that I want to re-emphasize the form. Just being very careful to do the edge highlighting on the trims of the armor. Yep, there we are. And moving on, I'm creating a higher value of pink right here. So I'm using magenta, and I've added in a slight, very slight amount of scale 75 pale flash, just to push the value slightly higher here. So as you can see, the values are being pushed and the volumes of the miniature is being shown. But as I mentioned in the video, we want to focus on the volumes, and we got to do this same thing for the black and white areas, not just use the same black and white tones after this. As for the yellow, I'm using YRIEL yellow here to tone up the cloak to make sure that the highlights and the forms are being shown. I'm also using this for his shoulder pad and the little gem on his chest. Doing this for his mind stone on the head also. Okay, now that the color layers have been done and lit up, we now have to crack our brains a little bit to see what we can do about the black and white areas. As mentioned, not all colors desaturate at the same value. What's important is refer to this reference image right here, because this will tell you how the colors desaturate. The magenta tends to be slightly lighter than the greenish areas, although they roughly appear to be the same, but don't be fooled. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to match the black and white area to the colored area when we are painting the black and white area. I know this sounds a little bit confusing, but let me demonstrate it right now. So the only color that I'm going to modulate in this area is Vallejo Model Color Pale Blue Grey. I'm going to use slightly more pale blue grey for the magenta areas of him, and I'm going to control the amount of pale blue grey to a slightly lesser amount on the green areas, as you can see right here. While the colors are very close, I'm making sure and being very careful to make sure that the green areas have a little bit less pale blue grey when I'm painting in the volumes, as you can see right here on the thigh. This is a lot less value compared to how I've done the magenta areas to show the differences in how the colors desaturate. While they are the same grey, they are of very different values. Okay, now it's time for the most gratifying part. Is how we are going to merge the black and white area to the color area. Because we worked so hard painting the miniature in two different styles, let's just blend the both together right now. So what we're going to do right now is to create this red glow in the middle and trying to make it look like a source of light, which is possibly quite challenging, but I don't know man, let's just give it a try. We'll now work on the red glow that differentiates the black and white area to the color area. This is Wanda's power influencing the universe and you don't want to miss this out. Wow, so excited to get started on this. Remember guys, don't spoil Wandavision for me because I have not watched the series yet, so don't spoil it, okay? Oh boy, I'm really excited for this. And at first, I thought the line was going to be magenta. That's why I'm using pure KIMERA magenta to draw this line here. In retrospect, you can skip this step and you can move on straight to Blood Angels Red from Games Workshop. When you're drawing the line, why am I showing this area here is because I want you to continue to do this jagged line. This jagged line will show this glitching effect, as you can see right here on the right hand side in the Wandavision poster. So I'm trying to create this jagged glitching effect. So this goes all the way down, just make sure it cuts the model exactly in half, which creates this effect. And if you notice in the reference image, the area with high value, such as the very light pink and white, takes up most of this area. So actually right here what I'm doing is I'm doing the distribution of value. So I'm making sure that most of this transition line is of that high value, and because it's magenta I feel that it's not so right, so I just needed to make some corrections after this. So I've just glazed over the whole thing in Blood Angels Red, and now adding in pure white, I'm creating a very high value light pink to differentiate this. Still drawing in that very glitchy line style, trying to be as fast as possible. Remember, just glitch left and right while you're drawing a vertical line to create this very jagged line. And right after this, I'm going to use pure white to really push out the value to make sure that this transition line stands out from the rest of the model. You want to add some random dots also to show the glitching effect, and just a little bit I'll finish this and you can see the final result. So I hope you found this video useful and inspiring. I hope it inspires you to try different things and create your own vision. And there we have it. This miniature took slightly longer than 90 minutes because I'm painting two sides. And this is my finished version of Vision. So I hope you like this creative spin on this miniature. And remember guys, just be daring and try things that you never thought you could do, because who knows, you might pull off something really amazing. So what miniature from Marvel United you would like to see me paint next? Tell me, let me know, because I don't intend to paint the entire box, and whatever you guys choose and select will get painted next. And I hope this is helpful to you. And if you found this video helpful, why not head on to the Patreon and become a patron today? Patrons get a whole slew of painting related resources and it will help you become a better miniature painter. Otherwise, why not just like and subscribe, because it really helps out the channel. And I'll see you in the next video where I'll be painting Black Panther selected by you guys. Alright, see you then. Bye!